What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Juice Just Talks.
I'm K-Ron.
I'm Simeon.
I'm Destiny.
I'm Tanisha.
I'm Akola.
Today we're going to talk to you guys about bullying and low self-esteem.
Okay, so let's start on this subject. Self-esteem. What I would just say to you guys is don't ever compare yourself to other people, because when you compare yourself to other people, that could definitely bring down low self-esteem. You worried about what Tom, Bill, Bob, and Shaniqua has when you gotta just worry about yourself, because you always have to remember that God made you special. God made you.
Yep.
He didn't make you anybody else. So be you, be the best you can be that He's made you to be, and live your best life and stay in your lane.
Yep.
One thing I've learned growing up was just that comparing yourself to other people and looking at other people's lanes and what other people are doing, that'll really kill your self-esteem, especially depending on who and what you're looking at. For example, you may have someone who's a good friend of yours. Let's say you go to a school, his name's Tom, for all intents and purposes, and Tom might be 15 years old, and let's just say Tom's allowance is like $200 a week or something, and then you look at yourself and your allowance is like $20 a week or something like that. When you look at, when you compare yourself to Tom, Tom gets $200 of free money a week from his parents, so Tom can have the nicest clothes, the nicest shoes. Tom can keep his appearance a certain kind of way. It's just a certain kind of way that you can. You guys are starting on a whole different level. So to try to compare yourself to Tom when you're here and Tom's starting off here, it'll kill your self-esteem. And that will also lead me to another thing I do want to say about self-esteem that I've learned, is that self-esteem has nothing to do with your outer appearance or your outer things. A lot of times, people like to take things such as the jewelry you have on, the clothes that you wear, the way that you look, how many followers you got on Instagram, just all those kind of things that make their self-esteem based on those things. But if your self-esteem is based on outer things, once those things are gone, your self-esteem is gone. So that's why your self-esteem has to be based on what's on the inside, you knowing who you are and what you bring to the table in any situation.
I find in a lot of cases that people who actually bully people are insecure with themselves. They don't like something within themselves or about themselves, so they pick out something about you that you may be insecure about already, and they'll talk about it or whatever and make you feel worse about yourself. So don't feel bad because someone's picking on you. If they're picking on you, it's probably for a reason, because they're not happy inside.
Yeah. Last example I want to give about self-esteem is I remember seeing Beyonce one time was saying that she had low self-esteem, and I know you look at someone like Beyonce, who she got all the glitz and the glamour, and she gets up on the stage in front of hundreds of thousands of people all the time and displays her talent, and most people would consider her to be a very beautiful woman. But for her to get up and say she has low self-esteem, it tells you a lot. Self-esteem has nothing to do with what's on the outside, because if it has something to do with what was on the outside, which is what people saying, oh, Beyonce's beautiful, Beyonce's this, Beyonce's that, and she got all the money in the world and all the nicest cars and all that kind of stuff. If it had anything to do with outer things, Beyonce wouldn't be able to say she got low self-esteem. But it's because self-esteem just has something to do with what's on the inside. So I mean, as you can see from the example from Beyonce, anybody can have low self-esteem. It's just about what's on the inside of you. It has nothing to do with what's on the outside.
Victim. So in these scenarios, different scenarios, you have the bully and you have the victim. I'm just the bully. Me growing up, I grew up in Deerfield. Me and all my friends, we used to crack on each other, joke and laugh about each other, outer appearance, anything, shoes, all that. We used to crack and stuff. But I found that, growing up, I used to go to different type of schools. I went to 4 or 5 different elementary schools, and I found that people receive it different. So this is my fiance here, and I met her in college. And when we first began talking, I used to take my childhood things and I used to crack on her. That's what I grew up doing. That's what I do. I used to just crack on her as a joke or whatever. Until she finally told me, she was like, "Oh, that's kind of offensive. That's not how I was raised up."
Because where I'm from, if someone cracks on you, you fight them. They're talking about you. You don't like that. So it's different everywhere. People, like he said, crack on each other. It may be a joke, haha, funny, but we grow different, so it's different.
So you always, in me saying that, you always have to take the other person into consideration, because a lot of people not raised the same way. So you gotta understand, it goes back to how you started. So you ain't start the same. So you gotta think they're not gonna receive it the same way how you giving it out.
So people that's being bullied, you shouldn't take that offensive. You know, if they mess with you, if they tell somebody, don't keep it in. You have to really tell somebody. Because if you keep it in, it's gonna turn to an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
You're gonna go out and start shooting people and stuff like that. You don't want that.
School shooter.
Even struggling with
It's a lot of
suicide,
people.
yeah.
Yep.
It's a lot of stuff on news. Oh, my kid was a good kid. She wouldn't do that. But you don't know what your kid going through.
Yep.
So you gotta talk. You have to talk to your parents. You gotta talk to your teachers, your guidance counselors. You know, you can't hold that stuff in. It's like a very ticking bomb that will go off eventually.
Me,
No.
when I was growing up, I've been a victim of bullying. I'm sure everyone has too, but
Yeah.
everyone has their own story. But I used to let this girl punch on me and just hit me and stuff, and I would never say anything because I was scared of what she was going to do to me. I used to be scary back in the day. So also just be mindful, you can't be a scary cat. You can't be scared to tell somebody. You can't be scared to retaliate, but retaliate in the right way, not just put your hands on somebody because that's how you feel at the moment. You got to think before you do things. Tell a teacher if you can, or talk to somebody who you trust, because it will build up.
It'll build up, and it
And
can
if you can't
eventually.
say it, at least write it.
Yeah.
Write it down, give it to somebody. Put your name on it.
Like
Can't say
it can
it.
build up. Sometimes you don't even know it build up, and
Right.
and you turn into the bully. Like I know in my
Right.
instance, the first elementary school I went to, it was a girl I used to sit next to. Look, it's a girl I used to sit next to, and she used to just sit there and just pinch me hard as she
Still
could,
mad about it.
and I'd just be turning red and stuff like, yo, why is she pinch? I ain't say nothing. No, I never used to say nothing. She just used to pinch me. And one day my mom was like, you want to move schools? I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I want to go to a different school. So I went to a different school, right? And I went to a different school. And I was like, man, I'm not finna go through that again. Ain't nobody finna be trying me no more. And I turned into the bully. But I didn't know. Like, it just happened. You know what I'm saying? So, and you got to check yourself sometimes. You got to check yourself. Like, you never know what people going through at the time. You never know. So you got to check yourself when you joking
Yeah.
with people and when you're doing certain things to people.
Also, the people that bully, sometimes they bully for a reason because something's going on at home.
Yeah.
You know, or they don't have the love from the parent
Attention.
like, you know, other people have, or they jealous of the other person, so they, I'm just gonna bully them. You know, oh, he got nice shoes, so I'm just gonna bully him.
Right.
You know, that's not the case.
Yep.
But you always have to tell somebody if you're getting bullied or anything, talked about, picked on. Tell somebody, don't be scared. They can't touch you. You know, if you tell somebody, they can't touch you no more.
My job, I work with middle schoolers, so I know what some of y'all's brain waves are right now. Let me define snitching for y'all, because a lot of people don't know what snitching is.
No.
The true definition of a snitch is if I do something with you, and we get in trouble for it, and I say, oh, no, he did it. That's snitching.
That's snitching.
Yeah.
So if someone's bothering me, if someone has pulled me into a situation that I want nothing a part of, and I go tell authority, that's not snitching.
Yeah.
That's
That
actually
you didn't have nothing to do
that's
with.
actually defending yourself the right way, actually,
Yeah.
because you don't want to get in a fight. It's not going to
Just
end
tell
good
the
for you.
truth.
Y'all
The-
both
the-
get suspended.
Tell
and
them
then
the
what?
truth. That's
Yep. The best thing, like she said, is you will go without consequence and you'll get your problem solved. Is to go tell somebody,
Right.
and it's not snitching.
And it'll be a weight off of you if you go tell somebody.
I would also say, like, if you are being bullied, if somebody is making fun of you, I would say, for me personally, I would take that and use that for fuel to
Yep.
show them, like,
Facts.
you gonna see me. Like, I got
Stand
made
up
fun
to
of
'em.
a lot about my long legs, but you don't see me making millions with these legs. Okay, I run track, so that's just take it and make it your fuel to get right and just.
I got made fun of my long arms. They said my arms touch the ground when I be walking. See, but I used this shoe. I played football and you know what I'm saying. I did my thing.
I managed to go through 3.5 years of high school without getting into a fight, but my fourth year, my senior year, this girl, she was bullying me. So I didn't take it very well from freshman year until then. I had so many girls talking about me, saying things about me, and I just took it all the time. I never said anything, never did anything, never went to the principal, nothing. So this one girl who came to me, I erupted and we fought, and it wasn't the best thing because it was around time of prom, and they told me I wasn't gonna be able to go, but they let me go. Luckily, because I didn't have any
prior
situations throughout high school. So just be mindful. They can take prom away from you. They can take anything from you in high school or middle school or anything. You can be in trouble, get suspended and everything. So just think before you do things.
Like when I was a kid, I used to eat a lot of bananas. Like every day I used to wake up, eat a banana, go to school or whatever. And people started telling me like, bro, you look like a monkey. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I gotta stop eating these bananas. Like I'm starting to look like a monkey for real. I'm looking in the mirror like, I do look like a monkey. That's crazy. So then I stopped eating bananas. Like I completely changed my whole habits around just because what somebody said to me. You never know the effect it can have on another person. So just watch what you say and watch who you say it to. Yeah. And most importantly, know yourself. That has to do with bullying and low self-esteem. You have to know yourself. And a lot of stuff won't affect you if you know yourself.
Self-esteem, period. Not just low self-esteem. You gotta build your self-esteem, learn yourself.
It's a waste of time without him, right? Yeah. Feel free to sing with us. The song is simple. It says, tell me what can I do? 'Cause I can't leave.